Hello everyone and welcome back to Prestige Reef. Today we're going to answer the question, does this hobby need to be a black hole for your wallet? I started my tank with literally £400 and my tank has grown into what it is today purely by using various aspects of the hobby so that it funds itself. So let's look at some of the ways which I've used to fund my tank over the years. Number 1. Buy and sell second hand. I'm always amazed at how little people are willing to sell their tanks for if you promise to take away all the hassle. No one wants the hassle of breaking down a tank and selling it off one piece at a time. The sad truth is, this hobby is full of people which are fickle. Over the years there have been plenty of times when I've agreed a time with someone to collect something and waited at home only for the person to not turn up. Usually it's for that one fish you spend all day trying to catch. When you buy a whole system, you won't need everything that comes with it, therefore you can keep anything you want and sell everything you don't want. This is how I started my first tank. I purchased a dual Rio 400 with a breeding group of Frontosas for £400. Already knowing I wanted a marine setup, I had already sold the Frontosas for £400 and the person came to collect them the next day, essentially giving me my first tank and equipment for free. Sure, it was one of the most stressful times of my life. A heater exploded in my hand and I had no idea what I was doing, but it was still worth it. I only purchase a full setup if I want a few things from it, and believe that I can break it up and get my money back, so getting a good deal at the beginning is key. Number 2. Frag your corals. Growing corals and fragging them is one of my favourite parts of the hobby, and is part of the natural progression. The better you get at providing your corals with everything they need, the faster they grow, and the faster they grow, the quicker you need to carry out regular pruning sessions to keep everything under control. To maximise the amount of money you can make from frags, it isn't as easy as you think. Firstly, you need to become a master of the basics of growing coral. Then you need to choose your specimens wisely, as you want a selection of both fast growing and high-end corals. A perfect example of a coral which has both of these traits are bounce mushrooms. In America, they change hands for literally hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars, and I can see why. They tick all the boxes for a good coral to invest in, as they are hardy, desirable, easy to propagate, in limited supply, and are currently in fashion, which is why they appear to be holding their value. People are buying them, cutting them in half, waiting a month for them to heal, before selling them and getting their money back. The bounce mushroom craze has just started to enter the UK. Charterhouse Aquatics recently had 7 available, and in the last month they appear to have dwindled down to just 1 remaining, even though they have a high price tag. White corals in Germany also seem to be experiencing the same effect, where certain bounce mushrooms are sold within minutes at around €600 each. I myself have also decided to invest in a sun-kissed bounce mushroom, despite its cost being exactly 1 arm and 1 leg, of which I've propagated once so far. Even if I only get half the price I originally paid back, I've still got the other half which I can grow on and frag again, covering the remainder of the costs. If bounce mushrooms are a little above your price tag however, the theory works the same with any other corals which can easily be fragged and you can work your way up. For example, Hystrix grows very quickly, so I have 3 different types in my tank. The same goes for my Seriatopora. These would be my most commonly fragged corals which I have a regular supply of. I then trade groups of these frags for some higher end corals such as Montipora, Leptocyrus and certain Acropora species, which are much slower growing, but sell for a higher price. By doing it this way you can accumulate a range of species in your tank over time without the pain of having to pay the cost of expensive colour variations. There is however no point in buying high-end corals thinking you can make loads fragging them if you haven't got the basics of their care mastered first. These animals are still delicate, and without proper husbandry you'll lose your investment. Frags can also be sold to your local fish shops for a reduced rate. You won't get anywhere near as much as if you were selling them to a local reefer, as they need to make profit too, but you don't have the hassle of selling them one at a time. Don't just walk into any fish shop and expect to sell to them though. You need to build a relationship with the staff, and the best way to do that is to buy from them as well. Number 3. Breed fish. Similar to number 2, except far more labour intensive, but also a lot more rewarding. If you're going to consider this idea, you only realistically have 2 options of what to breed in a marine tank: clownfish and Banggai cardinals. Many other species have been bred in captivity, but these two are the least amount of hassle, with Bangais being the easier choice, but also having a much lower number of offspring. If you're willing to put in the extra effort though, and attempt to breed designer clownfish, the financial rewards are higher than with Bangais. Just remember though, just because you have 2 black storm clownfish doesn't mean all the offspring will be black storm. So wait till they start showing off their true colours before you get too excited. Number 4. Sell reverse osmosis water. Many people in the hobby are still buying their water from local fish shops. It isn't always the case, but the problem I found is that their filters aren't always changed as often as they probably should be, and the TDS starts to creep up. I change the DI resin on my RO unit weekly in order to keep my TDS as close to 0 as possible. This is what we should all be aiming for, and if you can offer people a better source at the same price, why wouldn't they get it from you? I found this to be a really good way to meet other reefers in the area, which can only be a good thing, and is how I met Tim, who seems to be a regular feature in my videos these days. Number 5. Write an article for a magazine. Although this may seem daunting at first, I've written 2 articles for magazines, and if I can do it, anyone can. Progression at first is slow, but once I got into it, I really started to enjoy it, and you can pick a topic which you know and love, therefore it's easy. Number 6. Start a YouTube channel. This isn't easy at all. It's extremely time consuming and you shouldn't start this expecting to make money. There have been many times where I've considered stopping because of this, but sometimes it isn't all about the money. I like helping people, and more importantly, the animals we keep, and in turn some of you guys reward my efforts by supporting me through my Patreon account. I'll be completely honest with you, YouTube pays approximately $1.5 per 1,000 views. So if you do become popular, the chances of a fish channel making you rich is almost impossible, but it is a nice way to cover the cost of that month's bucket of salt. Having said that, each video takes me approximately 8 hours to make on a Saturday, and I feel a lot of stress to churn out a new video each week. Social media is also on the news everywhere at the moment about how bad it is for your mental health, so this isn't a route to take lightly. Trust me, there are far easier and less time consuming ways to make money. So this really is a labour of love. Number 7. Start a fish shop. Most of us have dreamt about owning a fish shop at some point. I certainly would love to. It can't be easy, and unfortunately our local fish shops are closing at a rapid rate. There are however some who are able to progress with the times and are doing really well. With great risk comes great reward, and the few people that are able to take this extreme step with the evolution of the hobby are lucky enough to be doing something they love every day. So in answer to my question at the beginning of the video, does this hobby have to be a black hole for your wallet? If you're willing to put in the extra effort, apparently not. I don't really consider it extra effort anyway, because it's just an extension of what I love doing. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Please feel free to comment below if you have any questions. If you did enjoy the video, why not click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Have a good week, and I'll see you next time. As always, I just want to say a massive thank you to the people that support me on Patreon. Never underestimate the value of what you do with regards to keeping this channel going. You've all been brilliant. Thank you.